Nebraska Extension held its 2016 Beef Feedlot Roundtables at 3 locations in Nebraska this week. In West Point Tuesday, we talked with Nebraska Extension's Matt Luebbe about water demands in the feed yard under situations of restriction. We asked Matt why producers might be concerned about a feedlot's water quantity.
You know, most of the water that's used for agriculture purposes is to grow the feed, and we often overlook the water quantity that's used in the feedlot, and that's an important component, especially when you look at some individual areas throughout the state.
Tell me about those areas that might be experiencing a problem.
You know, in western Nebraska, we're already experiencing shortages where there's limits on the quantity of water that can be pumped, and therefore the number of animals that can be there. And that is only going to increase in the future as we continue to use water.
How much is required in the feedlot?
You know, even during the summer, for animals producing at a high rate of gain, we're at about 9.5 to 10 gallons of water per day, just for direct water consumption.
Per animal?
Per animal.
So what requirements do the producers need to have in the future to ensure that they have the appropriate amount of water?
What the producers need to do is identify the peak times that they need that water. If their wells cannot keep up, or the municipal supplies that they might be hooked up with cannot keep up with that demand, then management changes need to be made so that they can ensure that there's enough for both rural and urban sectors.
Give me the high points of the day, the times when cattle most need water.
You know, the high points of the time of the day would be right after feeding, when the animals are consuming most of their feed intake, and during the hottest part of the day. And that would be in the middle of the day for most parts.
So how delicate is the balance? How difficult is it going to be to balance the needs between rural and urban in this situation?
It's going to be important for some feedlots, but as our urban sectors do grow and encroach on feedlots or other animal units, you know, they're always going to have that potential challenge.
What are the other high points that producers need to take home today?
I think if they figure out or determine when their peak demand is, they may need to consider water stores to make sure that they can keep up during periods of heat stress or other events that cause animals to consume more water.
You're just talking about tanks?
It would be both tanks and maybe a supply. If electricity goes out during the heat of the day and you're using a pump for groundwater, you might not have access to that.
Are there challenges that come along with tanks in terms of the quality of water that you're getting back, or making sure that you maintain an appropriate quality?
You know, it'd be the same management decisions that you would make for your regular water tanks. You'll just want to make sure that you've had adequate quantity and a fresh supply, clean water.
Sorry, is this a problem in other states outside of Nebraska?
This certainly is a problem in the southern plains, especially in the Texas Panhandle and some other isolated areas where there's large urban sectors.